She's Tyreese McAllister, the therapist on the mic, bringing mental health wisdom, shining bright like a light. Guiding souls to peace, leading minds to the right. With her codes by her side, they soar to new heights. Marcy Trueheart in the mix, mental health advocate, speaking truth, sparking change, grinding like a maverick. Empowering minds, lifting spirits, it's never too late. Together with the crew, just trying to do great. Jamie Tyler in the house, a TV star, champion mental health, taking it far, sharing stories, inspiring minds, raising the bar, with codes by the side, reaching for the stars. Thursday therapy, breaking stigmas all around. With this crew, they here for the town. Mental health help, spreading love profound. Their voices echo loud with a resounding sound. Thursday therapy, here to make a change, spreading love, sharing knowledge in a world so strange. Tyreese, Marcy, Jamie on this mental health range, standing united this far from a game.
Woohoo! Hey guys!
Hello.
What's up?
What you guys got going
Y'all
on?
frozen?
We frozen?
Y'all, oh, there you go. You good?
Okay.
You good.
We just
ask
multitasking.
our listening audience to give us grace because
Yes.
technology does happen, and everybody on this podcast is over 50. So sometimes we have a little technical difficulties, and I think our listening audience is also in that 40 to 50 age range. Let me just say this: if you're younger than 40, give us a shout out. Give us a hashtag something. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hit us with a hashtag replay, y'all.
Hey.
Am I the oldest? I think I'm the oldest.
You are not the oldest, Jamie.
Not the oldest. Jamie,
Marcy
you're the youngest.
is.
Yeah.
Y'all both frozen. Right
We
now.
frozen? What's going on? I see me moving.
Mm-hmm. And you. Both of y'all frozen.
Oh man.
Oh no.
So we're not
right,
frozen.
Y'all back.
No, y'all
back.
We're not frozen online. So, and once more and again, giving us grace, because grace is part of giving yourself grace. It is part of your mental health.
Maybe it's my wife.
That's why you hear Thursday therapy. So let's start off with our weekend. Tyreese, what did you do this weekend?
I went to I almost forgot, but I was out of town in Pennsylvania, in Philly, and I went to a like a workshop conference type of thing, but they talked about investments, buying homes and buying stock. And so we actually bought into a program where we're going to have actually 6 days of training to do that. Y'all, I'm just trying to level up my income. I posted something today real quick that just talked today. I saw it. I reposted it. They talked about the black dollar and how we do not keep dollars in our own community. And it was really just having gone to this workshop and looking at this, like for us black girls, how we give Asians our money because of hair in the beauty industry, how a lot of times when people are renting homes, they're not always renting from people who look like us. We work for people who don't look like us often. If you're buying gas and other things, you're buying it from, other cultures. We're the only culture that really doesn't keep the money in our community. And so that really resonated with me. So I am hoping to be able to bring back the investment information, whether it's homes and other stuff, actually to our church, right? So kingdom building. So I don't want to just learn for myself and increase my own bottom line. I want to, make sure that we're doing that for the community. And one other thing that I know, just as a therapist, one of the things that bring people to counseling, or that at least causes an enormous amount of stress, is the ability to manage our finances. So my weekend was not really, well, I won't say it wasn't exciting. It just wasn't like a fun weekend. It was more like a come to Jesus moment for me, but nevertheless, a great moment. So that was me. But y'all did.
What did I do? I know. Oh, I went dancing and I shouldn't have, because I got a cortisone shot Thursday, and I decided to go dancing on Saturday. So my knee is still swollen. Yeah, and I'm on an injured reserve list. So after I decided to dance up some stuff, and I had to come home and ice it for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, my weekend was sitting here on the couch with an ice pack on my kneecap.
Okay.
Sorry to hear that. As y'all know, I don't sit still, so I have to really remember what I did. I had to go look at social media to tell me, or unless y'all know. I know I went to Jacob's Ladder community block party. I did do that. So I did my community service on Saturday. That was down in Fort Washington.
Is that also the diapers for Saturday also?
That's this Saturday.
This Saturday, okay. Oh, we always want to make sure we mention that on the first. Yeah.
Yes, Lean on Us Unity Community. Lean on Us Unity Community Center this Saturday, 9 to 12 diaper drive. Make sure y'all spread the word. Now, last weekend I was at Jacob's Ladder block party community day. That was great. They had the PG County band playing out there, like the little go-go band.
Okay.
DJs, a lot of people, a lot of love for Love and Marriage DC out there. Visit my father after that because I was on that side. Shout out to Aisha Brave Boy. She's the new county exec of PG County.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ms. Braveway. The exciting because we had her on the show when she was running for county executive. So definitely shout out to her.
Yeah, so I went to that event, the watch party. That was I think Tuesday. I did a site visit for the overnight cookout yesterday. So I was out Hughesville on all that land, going over logistics and all that stuff. See, all this behind the scenes stuff people don't know that we got to do.
Yeah, they don't need to know because it's not their business.
It's a lot.
I just want to give a shout out to you and Irena, because and this is what people don't get to see. They see you as a star, and they see you out. And both of you are out in your finery, your bad clothes. But what they don't get to see is that that you all give back on a regular basis. Like it's not just because a TV camera is there, because there are a lot of people who are stars and everything is a photo out, but the work that y'all put into the community all the time with or without cameras. And I just think that that's huge. And not a side that people get to see of both of you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And that's true because I didn't even tell Gerald I was coming. So when I got there, he was like, man, I didn't know he was coming. And then he ran into the DJ. He was like, shout him out. The DJ said I was on Love and Hip Hop. They was like, no, that's not what he on. So that's
you got something to tell us, Jamie?
He felt so bad.
It's so good to have. It's so good, like when people can name drop, because I consider us friends. So I'm always like, oh yeah, I was doing this with Jamie, and they're like, oh my God, and I'm like, because I don't look at y'all like that anymore. Like you and Irena are so down to earth. Y'all are just like regular people to me. I have to be, and y'all don't act like celebrities. So I have to be, I'm like, oh yeah, they are. So, y'all are famous, but if people could just know y'all, like y'all are just regular everyday people. And I do absolutely love and adore that about y'all.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's very intentional. We actually just came from Bethesda. And I can't remember the name of the facility, but we were invited out for they do like what's the word? Aesthetics? Is that an esthetician?
Okay.
All that facial.
Yeah.
There you go. So the owner met her and wanted us to come visit, and I think he wants to do some collabs with her. So we went out there.
Oh yeah, get it in, because y'all actually both of y'all do have really good skin.
Right. He said for me, he's like, he could see her facial. And for her, she was like, what about this? What about it? He said, you don't need none of that. So we thought it was fun. We talked to the staff. We took a bottle of 202 out there to him. And we were out there for about 2 hours. So we just ran back so I can get here and be with you guys.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.
And today, and thank you for coming back. So today we have someone that I absolutely adore. I honor this young lady. I think we've been knowing each other a good 25 years. Yeah. I'm just going to hit just a few points because her resume is extensive
and impressive.
Extensive and impressive. And just like you, Jamie, she is a superstar in her realm. But to know her, you instantly, like you said, her voice just brings you in. But the love that she shows is also, it matches her voice. So Mayasa is she is, hold on, wait a minute.
Hey,
Peace,
Mayasa.
peace, peace,
So she's
peace.
a
I
holistic.
adore you too, Mayasa. I just
I-
haven't known you for 25 years. By the
Oh,
end of
wow.
the show, Jamie will also adore you.
Of
So this
course, of
this all
course.
family right here. I didn't know y'all
Oh,
all went back that far.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely family.
Okay.
Mayasa is a holistic practitioner. She's a doula. She's a midwife. Um, she's a comedic yoga certified chai massage therapist, certified American drug list practitioner, a herbalist. I already said a birth doula, uh, a belly dancer, or just a herbalist. And when she loves to heal up on women. When I tell you to be in a circle with her, um, when she walks into the room, she definitely shifts the atmosphere because of her genuineness. She is absolutely one of the many blessings that I've been able to receive. And I'm not even going to talk any longer. We're going to start off with, because this is Thursday therapy, and everybody we bring on this virtual couch, we're going to go therapeutic, and then we're going to go holistic today. So, Mayasa,
Hey,
welcome.
Hey,
Mercy.
Mayasa.
Hey, Mayasa.
Hey,
You
peace,
know what? I
peace,
just thought
family.
of, I have to get some clapping hands or something when we bring our guests up. I'm gonna work on that. But hey, girl,
Mhm.
hey.
Hey, sis, hey. I'm
So we
grateful for y'all
are
having me.
absolutely happy
Thank
to
y'all so
have you.
much.
Oh, well, she'll talk about, you're going to talk about being in the African American Museum. She's going to talk about
Oh,
that too.
yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
So tell us
Okay.
about that. What that's like.
Um, I think it's legacy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting it. I was working with one of the first birthing centers, Black owned birthing centers in Alexandria, Virginia, with a beautiful mama who's been doing the birth work for many years. And we happened to be doing a birth, and they were trying to, so what was it, the History Channel? The History Channel was trying to find Black birth workers who they could follow and throughout the birthing process, right? And a lot of the births they were following, they were, unfortunately having to birth at the hospital for different reasons at different times. And so they reached out and they were like, "Can we follow you around while you work with, your client for birth?" And I was a little hesitant about it because I'm not really, I'm really like one of those mamas that kind of stay on the down, out of the limelight kind of space when it comes to like birthing. So I did, I agreed and to let her, follow us. I did a blessing way with the system. We had a great time, and just a very natural birth. And she ended up birthing her baby at home. And so it made the paper. And so when it made the paper, the museum reached out and they asked if they were doing an exhibit. And the exhibit was called From Birth and Beyond. And so what it does is it features birth workers who do a lot of work in the community from 1948 to present. And I had 1,605 registered births on record to have birthed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that you call it birth work. Jamie
Yes.
cannot relate to this, but baby, birth is work.
It's work.
Okay.
It
My
is
I
daughter
real
believe
worked
you.
work.
maybe
I believe you.
30 hours. Like
Oh
nobody
yeah.
even works 30 hours, right? Like it was something to behold. I think in my own with my own birth, I can't even, it doesn't register with me, but like watching somebody, I'm like, ooh, I did that. Eeh.
Yeah, it's a
So thank you
powerful
for
work,
all
no
you
matter
do.
where it's done at. I just, I love it. I love the whole space in that space, whether it's a hospital, at home, the water. I mean, I've birthed a baby in the backyard before,
Mm.
in water, like whatever your vision is for your birth, my goal is to help you to create that in the most natural, holistic way possible,
Oh,
wherever that
that's so
is, birth
beautiful.
centers. So
So I
that's
got
how
a
I end up getting there.
because I don't know nothing about that. So and maybe people listening don't. So you saying if a family doesn't want a doctor at a hospital, they call you, and you actually perform the
I can
birth.
do So I can do both, right? So I'm a midwife and a birth doula. I just like call it a birth worker, right? So I'm a certified midwife. So I can birth the babies wherever they want to birth them at. And I can also support the mother through the birth. A lot of times it's hard to do both at the same time. I'm either supporting the birth itself, preparing her for the birth, and then, really working with the baby during that time, or I'm preparing her for the birth and I'm really working with her during that time. So most cases, a lot of times people pick or select, they want me to be like their birth assistants, which is the doula. But I also do midwifery work too, where there's been times where I had to hold that space for the mama and the baby at the same time. And sometimes the daddies when they pass out too. So yeah, but the
So,
goal is to prepare them for the birth. So I work with them from the time that they contact me up until we deliver, and even 2 weeks up until after birth. And some of those babies I see now, they're 5, 6 years old. Some are 12 years old, and they still very close with their parents. So
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
yeah.
so, so if you
Yeah.
don't do that, I guess the nurse that works there, she's basically doing the same thing. Is that how that
So
works?
the nurse in this space, sometimes the nurse can do it, but the nurse doesn't know her, right? The nurse doesn't know her health concerns, doesn't know her fears, doesn't know her anxieties. So the nurse can do the best she can to hold that space in that space, but the doctor would be delivering the baby as well. So in that space, I trust the mothers, and I get them to trust themselves, and the families can trust her that she can do what she needs to do. So I'm more of a hands-off midwife in that space. But if I need to step in, I do and I will. So I play dual roles in that space.
That's
Mm,
interesting.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So Mayasa, when Marcy did your introduction, and I know she didn't do everything, but she mentioned quite a few things that you do. Out of all the things that you do, if you could give us a quick list, but then like tell us what's your most favorite thing to do that you do, because you do a lot. And a lot
Yeah.
of amazing things. Like none of it's small potatoes. Like it's all really good stuff.
Yeah. I think the best thing I can say that's most liberating for me, I would definitely say one is holding space for women and their families. um Birth is, Black women are, dying at a disappropriated rate, and so my goal is to ensure that our families, are here as much as I can in that space. But I think the other one would be like travel experiences. I also find that our minds can be so closed when we don't get out of the United States. And so my goal is to take my people back to the motherland and let them put their feet in that soil and give them a different experience than what they may see on television, or financially, believing that it's a hardship to go, and to make it affordable, and that it's not a hardship, that it's definitely worth every penny. So I would think, for me, I think travel, creating holistic experiences through travel, whether it's Jamaica, Tanzania, and birth art. But I don't know, but I love to dance too, right? I love to dance. Like that drum goes through my blood. And so I don't know if I have one over the other. I
No,
do believe
you,
that they're all like, they're definitely assignments. They all
yeah.
have been
Oh,
assignments.
you know what? I love that because I look at my work as an assignment, right? It's a divine
Yes, it
assignment.
is.
Like
Yes, it
not an assignment like, oh my God, I got work to do. Like, but it's
is.
such a divine assignment. I don't have as many as you, but definitely I can appreciate, being on assignment and working a
Yes.
vision that's not even mine, like it's a God vision in what I
Yes,
do.
it
So I
is.
can say that.
Yeah. And I think that for me, I feel it. I just said this week, I was like, what happens when you wake up in the morning and you feel like fire running through you? And you're like, what am I do with that today? What am I going to do with this today? How am I going to show up today? So and I felt that like earlier this week, I was like, I got this fire burning in me. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody else got this fire right now. And I'm like, how am I going to show up with it? And I get that at times. And that's what, a lot of times that's that motivation. And I don't know where it comes from. I'm telling you, I'd be like, God, just put it on me. Be like, listen, what we going to do today?
Right.
A quick story. It was you had been in a birthing center or doing your doula role for like 2 days straight, and then you came. We had dance when we were in Virginia, and you came in. You was like, "Oh, I'm not going to do too much today. I'm tired. I'm not going to do too much. I'm tired." Baby, did we dance for 2 hours straight?
Yeah.
We literally
Yeah.
danced for 2 hours straight. And so when you dance with McAllister, the slow song is never. You dance to the end of the song. I mean, it's a glorious thing. But her, I don't have too much for you today, baby. I said someone call 911. She trying to kill us up here. But of course, it was a glorious time. I wouldn't change for the world, but my kneecaps.
It's intentional, Marcy. I feel like there's so much energy. Like I think that a lot of women, we carry so much energy like pent up inside of us, whether it's from our jobs, from, being at home or trying to manage business or whatever that space may be. A lot of times we don't really have any place to exert it, and it lays stagnant, it lays dormant inside of us. And I feel like sometimes we gotta just work that off. We gotta get that off, because if not, it can impact our mental health, right? It can cause us to become stagnant in our life. And when that blood flowing all over our body, I mean, we do some magical stuff. So I really believe that that movement is healing. I just believe dancing is healing. It really is healing.
It is.
Yes.
And then listening to music, but definitely the movement definitely changes, definitely can help our mental health. And so women who are dealing with depression and anxiety, they should dance more. Would you agree?
I agree. Absolutely. I mean, not just mental health, physical health too, right?
Yeah,
Thyroids, PCOS, all of these things can lead to mental health, right? All of these things can really lead. I have a little dog that just came in. Yeah, it's okay. Here you go. And so I do think that the mental health can really, really be improved when we're moving, when we're intentional. Um, it's like a meditation, it's a moving meditation.
yeah. Because what happens in that, I don't think people really appreciate what happens physically, is that we are releasing the hormones, the happy hormones, like the endorphins and all of the happy hormones that, I mean, we got quite a few, but that make us feel better. And the other thing that I think that I really picked up from Marcy is not even just the dancing, but when you guys dance with the belly dance collective, am I saying right?
Belly dancing.
That's a
Belly dance
color
big
It's a
collective.
collective.
huge community of women that really
Absolutely.
support one another. And I think that's what I would like to encourage our listening audience to, get with a group, get with that group, because they like amazing. But not that group, get with a group of like-minded women who support each other, not tear each other down, and really just start moving your hips and your legs and your butt and your belly and shake it off.
Absolutely. And I think too is really healing of how we can relate to each other, right? A lot of times there's a lot of anger and a lot of disappointment that we've experienced from each other as Black women. And so when we could go into these vessels or spaces or containers without judgment, without feeling competition, without, feeling ashamed of whatever it is that we may have experienced in our lives. And we're able to just lay it all out there. I mean, just in that space by itself is very healing. I mean, just to be in a space with women where there's no competition. I love that.
And being in a space with beautiful women, and there's no competition. We
Absolutely.
and Tyreese, she's been in our space. We huggers, we're kissers. I know we say we lay it on the mat. We lay it here on the dance floor. You want to cry on the dance floor, we're gonna cry with you. You want to be joyful, we're gonna be joyful with you, but we're gonna do it together. And as whatever stage you're in, we're gonna support you in that stage. But we're gonna do it in such a way that the love is overflowing, and once more again, it's authentic and genuine.
And that
So
can be surprising for some people, right? Some people have never been in a space before where they've seen like, oh, they don't know how to take it sometimes. Like, nah, we're good. It's okay. Just creating that safe space, and I think that can be exceptionally healing for mental health.
You know what else is really good about this particular group of women? The competition, the lack of, it's not competing, but the other issue that I think that people deal with on a regular basis, and it definitely impacts their mental illness or their mental health, is judgment, right? Like, I
Absolutely.
love that you guys say there's no judgment. You do what you can, you move how you can. Like,
Yeah.
I'm over here on my mat doing what I'm doing. You do it how you do it. Uh-oh, I done did something. But you just do what you do on your mat, right? And I think that is another place that I find as a therapist that people really struggle with, how they feel people are judging them, or how people actually are judging them, because we are judgmental creatures,
Right.
unfortunately. So yeah, I
Right.
love that.
Yeah. I love that. I always say it's a no judgment free zone, right? Because I feel like I am them, right? I am you. When I see you, I am you. There are parts of you that exist in me. And so, because of that, how could we judge it? When we're judging each other, we really are judging ourselves,
Ooh,
because that's
talk
really what
about
happens, you know? So, we have no space for that.
it.
So, that's why I love it. And I love to be in the space as much as I can. I want to take it on the road wherever I can.
Yeah.
And I do it from a healing perspective, right? So when we talk about belly dancing, I know it's a lot of entertainment in it, but it's a lot of healing in it, and for me, my dance is always been centered around like women's health, women's healing. There have been women who've been suffering with infertility who now have babies running around. Like, you can heal your womb through movement. There has been so much turmoil that women have experienced, with body shaming and a lot of different aspects of their existence, trauma, that they generational trauma that they have brought into their adult womanhood, that they don't even know how to begin to peel those layers back. And spending time in that dance floor, it's not just the dance floor, it's off the dance floor too. Like, my class supposed to be over at 9. We're not getting out of there till about 11 o'clock.
that's when you got something to do.
And you know what? I know it's good if y'all got Marcy out to 11 o'clock, because her bed is
Mine
eight.
too. Mine is at 8:30. It's at 8:30. Very intentional about it because I'm up at 4 o'clock. So 8:30 I be asleep. But on them belly dancing nights, there's this energy, it's this fire that takes place, of being in the space together. And those sometimes are the spaces where we get to talk about some things that are impacting us as a whole. The government did a huge layoff. That impact was heavy on a lot of people, who were coming to class and, figuring out their next steps and their next journeys. That was mental illness, they were like really going through it. Like, okay, we have to hold space for that. And not just physical space, right? In this container, we hold financial space too. We raise money for each other. We contribute to each other's causes. I know that they was outside shimmying, the shimmy mob, and was raising money for me to take over to Tanzania, Africa, because I'm building school over there. And I support an organization called Tanzania Great Minds for children who don't have parents, who don't have that support. And they need education, they need resources, they need to see Black dolls. Africa's been exploited in ways that we can't even put into words. We reclaiming our Blackness back over there in Africa. And so they out there shimmying, raising money, because I'm always taking, like, everybody bring a suitcase of school supplies, backpacks. Like, Marcy contributed like iPads last. Those children were so, when I tell you the happiness that we see, is I can't put it into words. And to be there with them, and as they receive these items, it's something I can't put into words. It really changes their trajectory on how we are really separate, and we can start looking at each other as one of the same. And so I love it. And so that's, I love to go back to Africa. I love to take y'all when y'all coming.
We coming soon. We
I'm
coming
thinking,
soon.
I'm thinking that Love and Marriage DC should do a service project over there. Like, that would be amazing.
That would be.
Absolutely.
Love and Merge
Absolutely.
DC need to get back to DC and start filming before we can get to Tanzania.
Yes, yes, yes. What
But
is
we're
he
gonna put that in the
supposed
pocket
to
though.
see
We'll put that in the pocket.
again?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
I had
no,
a quick question
go
for.
ahead.
I can't even imagine how stressful delivering a baby is. And outside of dancing, just what other things do you do for your mental health when you're not
So
delivering?
I'm up at every morning, 4:30. I don't care where I am in this world. Like I've been to like 52 countries, all on different time zones. I don't care where I am. I start my morning with prayer every morning at 4:30 for hours sometimes at a day because that's my balance. That's what keeps me going. And I don't care. I can't even sleep. I don't need a clock. I know that this is my time. This is my time. This is my quiet time. This is my time that I sit with God. And that's what I do. And so I don't feel that level of like stress. And the moment that I feel like I might be overwhelmed, I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm looking for the next place where I can go and find my own healing and go into some water, and sit and meditate and do my yoga and do my massage therapy. And I eat good, right? Because I believe my diet has a big influence on how my mental capacity is too. So I'm really intentional about like what I eat.
Tell us about that. Like, what are you eating?
So
Oh,
I'm considered what you call like a raw vegan,
oh,
31 years. And it's life for me. So this was before veganism came like this popular trend kind of space, right? I'm like one of them old school type vegans. So I'm not that person that judges people's food. I can go to dinner at any place and find me something to eat. I can go out anywhere to eat. I don't talk about people's food choices or diets. That's what works best for them. For my body, what works best for me is the removal of like any kind of animal products. When I'm talking about tapping into like my spiritual divine tools, and my intuition, I notice that when I eat better, my intuition is on 10,000. I don't want
mm,
to compromise that, right? I'm not willing to compromise that.
mhm,
If I eat something heavy or eat something that's not in alignment with my body, don't like it, it impacts my mind, it impacts my mental health.
mm,
So I'm not gonna compromise that. So I eat to live. So lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. I'm not into any of these like processed new foods and all that kind of stuff. I'm an old school, so we didn't have a lot of that. A lot of our diet consists of what we were making. So, preparing like, I'm a collard green, black eyed pea type, peas and rice, I'm eating. So I eat very healthy, avocados, and I'm always just trying to spend time being intentional about what I put into my body. Just
mhm,
not just food wise, but mentally, physically, spiritually, sensually, everything. The body is the largest organ on our body. So what we consume the most of is what we're gonna represent.
mm.
So I'm
So if you
very
go into
intentional.
my cookout, tell me what's on your plate. I'm
So
having
when I
cookout.
come to your cookout, first of all, when I come to your cookout, I'm bringing my black bean vegan burgers that I already pre-made, right? That's first. I'm never coming I'm never coming empty-handed.
I got you.
And
Are you
then
big enough to share?
I do. Not with the whole cookout, right? Because I
Right, right,
mean,
right.
most of the people I
Well,
know,
not
they
the
be having some
Davies cookout because that's
big
huge. Right.
parties, right?
Okay.
But I definitely bring enough to, one, two people once. Well, of course, because I ain't gonna eat like 5 burgers or 8 burgers. So I'm definitely gonna bring that. And that's what I'm gonna eat. And I'm gonna eat some fruit and I'm gonna eat a salad and I'm gonna have a good time. And you wouldn't even, and it's not even a big deal. I'm gonna bring
It's
some
one day.
peppers, some onions, avocados, and I eat organic. Yeah.
Do you eat
What
bread?
so it depends. I'm not a big bread eater. I'm not even a big really carb eater, just in general. But yeah, I can make bread out of like a lettuce wrap or any kind of thing. I can get 2 pieces of lettuce and grill that and make it to bread because I don't like really cold stuff But I make it work. And I'm easy with it too. You when you start to do something for so long, it becomes almost effortless. So it's not even a big thing for me.
So
Yeah.
my problem is I should have an 8 pack right now, but because
Hmm.
of my diet, it's not
Yeah.
there. And I
Yeah.
know for a fact, so I stopped eating beef and pork back in '06. So I'm 19 years now, and my body don't want it. If I say it, I'm like, you eat beef, you eat pork, but I still can't stop the other stuff: chicken, turkey. I eat fish. So and you
But,
said
but
31
those are all
years.
very lean foods, though. Chicken, fish, and turkey are very lean foods. So that's not what it is that's giving you that. You might want to look at the potatoes, the rice,
The Don
the
Julio.
macaroni and cheese. It's not. Those are lean meats. Though they don't really. I mean, because if you look at Africa culture, a lot of them eat meats there, and they will eat beef and they'll eat pork, but they are very generally very lean people. A lot of times it's because of the level of movement that they're doing in the course of the day. So I would say too, we live a very sedentary lifestyle here in the States. So moving a minimum of like 90 minutes, and I'm talking about some serious movement, can help. Um, and because they eat the same, I mean, they eat a lot of meats there, and they're not the same size as we are.
Mm.
So, I think too, like whatever else is going with those lean meats, if it's whatever's processed. In Africa, there is no process. There's not really no drive-throughs, so everything is being made fresh. You eating a chicken, you see that chicken running around, you get your beans, your rice, everything is cooked fresh. There's no fast food. That's not a concept that they utilize. So, you know,
Yeah. When I went to Belize, I noticed a big difference in the food. And
yeah,
they were catching the fish right out the water. Like, what y'all eating?
absolutely.
We were
Yeah,
walking up to it looked like a little market restaurant, but outside the restaurant was a table full of fresh seafood. And you
yeah,
just picked your whatever you wanted to eat for dinner. They took it and you went
that's
in there and
it.
sat down.
And because you have to think that if you catch a fish out of water, like in real time, how long you really think that fish gonna be good for you to eat? So when you're buying
Right.
fish 4 or 5 days old out the grocery store, you have to understand that there's something in that to preserve that, because it's not, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people go fishing. We know the fish is not gonna be good. You talk about 12 hours later, it's done
Right,
if it's not cooked.
right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you're right.
noticed that when I traveled abroad, like within a day or two, sometimes 2 to 3 days, I felt so different. And I was like, maybe it's just because I'm on vacation, but it's not. It was really because of the food. When
Yeah,
I traveled abroad. And then 1 or 2 days back in the States, eating
yeah,
this crap, you
yeah,
know, I was not I didn't get sick, but definitely not feeling the same way. And it
yeah.
really is the food. And we really have to look at that when we look at stuff in our children like ADHD, autism,
Absolutely.
like the food that we're
Absolutely.
putting in our bodies and for over generations, right? So you might have a baby that's born with autism, but what has your diet been like and all of the stuff that's in your body is coming out into your baby. And so we don't consider that, and they definitely don't teach us that
That's
when we
right.
learn anything about nutrition. And then even American medication. I remember you saying that you were a herbalist. Traditional African medication is different than what they give us here at Big Pharma. And so, they just keep us around long enough to get us buying the next medication. I had talked to my grandmother's now on dialysis, and I talked to them about some herbs for her kidneys. And the doctor looked at him. He was like, "Well, I guess they okay." I'm like, yeah, we gonna take you taking these, grandma, because
Right.
they just giving her dialysis, just it's gonna break down something else, and then she's a candidate.
We lost you, Mayasa.
It looked like her phone might have died. Oh, there she
Okay, there
is.
Yes,
you go.
sir.
You had
Yeah.
the same little problem I had. But it looks like they just keep you around to the next thing, and then they can over medicate you for something else that's going to make you sicker eventually. So
Yeah.
we really do
That's
have
right.
to be more mindful about what we're putting in our bodies. It's just unfortunate that the American system is not set up for us to really be healthy. Because even like Jamie has been working out and trying to eat right, but it's like you said, it's not fresh food. And so even if you're trying to eat right, there's so much stuff in our food that it makes it, not all that great.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times too, what a lot of people don't know is something that I've learned. With the immunizations, when we talk about our children with autism as well, too. My grandmother was she was My grandfather lived till he was 99 years old. And they didn't believe in immunizations back then. He was born in 1908. They didn't believe in that, you know. But what I have learned is that if people do believe in that, that they have options for the types of immunizations that they're receiving that a lot of people don't realize. They have these very low quality types of immunizations, but they also do have a higher quality that a simple request saying, you know what, I would prefer the higher quality of this particular injection if this is what you're choosing. You know, of course, you know, I don't advocate for any types of immunizations, you know, because I believe the body's and you know has the capacity for natural healing. My children went to college; none of them they haven't been immunized. One of them is a school teacher to this day, still haven't been immunized, never been sick, you know, nothing major, and we've been fine. But if someone does subscribe to that, I just want them to also know that there is options too. They don't have to take these low quality type immunizations that have all this crap and stuff in there. And
So the
it's just a
real deal
simple
is
request.
to read more, right? Like that's the thing. Like
Absolutely.
we don't do enough reading, we don't educate ourselves, and with Google, there's really no reason not to be educated on what to, you know, so you can just make informed decisions.
Absolutely.
One, we've already been misinformed, right? But we just really depend too heavily on oppressors giving us information, and we have to really be
Absolutely.
very careful about that. So
Absolutely.
thank
I
you for
totally
saying
agree. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I feel like we live in this space here, like a you know, a medical apartheid. The goal is if medicine was really here to cure, then we wouldn't need more medicine, right? And it doesn't work that way. And
not for us anyway.
Yeah.
not for us. Not for us. That's not our story. That's not our
Yeah.
story.
Our
Yes.
story is with the herbs and the vitamins and the herbs and just sipping on soursop tea and eating jackfruit.
Yeah. And getting the sun, right? Well, a lot of times we have to, you know, not neglect that melanin that we have in us. That sun is very extremely healing for us. A
Yeah.
lot of times we don't get out enough. You know, we live in cold climates. We're not necessarily, you know, as we are a people of the sun. You know,
I'm
we
glad you
enjoy
said
the
it. I
sun.
say it all the time. And you know, my family, they look at me like, oh, okay. But it really is the truth. Like I know that when I am again traveling abroad, especially in the Caribbean or on the continent of Africa, like that sun feels so good to me. Like it's
Yeah.
not, I mean, you know, a lot of people get hot and I get hot too and a little sweaty,
Right.
but the
Right.
sun feels like a drink of water and
Yes,
I'm
it
dying of
does.
thirst. Maybe because I'm light skinned. I don't know what you think.
No, I think that it's just healing for us. And I think that a lot of times we've been programmed like, oh, it's hot, it's uncomfortable. You know, we're not really used to it. If you live in America, if you stay inside, if you got the air conditioning blowing on you, like we've had luxuries that have almost crippled our, you know, capacity to be in
Yes.
touch with our natural selves, right? And
Yes.
so because of these luxuries, we've gotten away from nature. We've gotten away from ourselves. But the
Mm,
sun, that's why a lot of us have this vitamin D deficiency, vitamin K deficiency. Oh, just get some sun. Just
Yeah.
get a little bit of sun. And we wouldn't have these deficiencies that are now known to us. These weren't deficiencies known to us. You study back 15, 20 years, we weren't walking around with no vitamin K and D deficiency. Black folks, well, that what? The way we go outside and
yeah.
play. The way we love to be outside all day long, water hose playing, you
Yeah.
know, that wasn't a part of our reality. But now, you know, the video games, the televisions, the internet, these things have kept us inside. And as a result of that, we're not getting what we need just naturally.
Yeah.
That's so true. I literally, I was been a few years now, but when I was told the vitamin D is low, I was like, what? He was like, yeah. So I had to take like, it wasn't a little over the counter ones, it was some
The green
prescription.
pills.
1 week, one pill a week.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
So I was
Because most
like,
of us
and
at
then
our
she,
age are on that or have
yeah.
been.
And then she was sending me refills. I was like, I still gotta do it. She was like, yeah. And I didn't never understand. I was like, vitamin D? Like I never had that issue. But like you just said, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes
we
sense.
just gotta get outside more, you know, not be afraid of, you know, the sun that's been really healing us for many years. Really a lot, you know, good water, good sun. So I hope y'all think about coming to Tanzania. I go every year in October. We stay 14 days and it's amazing.
It's
Lots of
definitely on
walks.
my list. I won't be able to make it 2025, but perhaps 2026. But it's definitely
Yes.
on my list. I want to do the safari.
We do all that.
Oh my God, I want
Absolutely.
to do it so badly.
We
One of my
hike.
sorority
You know,
sisters did it,
yeah.
and her pictures were absolutely amazing. But
Mhm.
also to see my people and to serve, right? Like I think it's so. We were just
Absolutely.
talking about that at the opening of the show. That even with Jamie and Irena and their celebrity, they still serve. And I think people don't know how healing that is too, to be able to give back or give to people. Um, I don't even like to say people who have less than. I know my trip to Africa, it was 1999. I think I was 26 or 20. I don't know. I was in my late 20s. And I remember Shantytown, you know what, that's like, what we would consider poor, or it might be the equivalent to the projects here
Yeah.
in the States. Um, and just remembering these are, people who we would consider poor because they don't have the type of resources. But this was a happy group of people. I mean, it was like,
Absolutely.
it was so impressive because I had never seen it. Because when I go to the projects, if you go
Everybody mad. Everybody
they
mad.
ain't happy, right? Like you can
Right.
see it. I mean, and I'm so serious. Like I remember my children who were growing up in the suburbs, we would go visit some family, and my daughter was like, "Why is everybody up here ugly?" And I was like, "Oh my God, why would you say that?" But then I
Mhm.
started to look at the people and I was like, they not ugly, they unhappy, they miserable, and you could literally see no life in them. And it took my baby at 6 or 7 to say something so bizarre that it made me look. And it
Yeah.
wasn't it wasn't like they weren't beautiful people. It just life was sucked out of them, right? And that was not the case in Shantytown. Like the people were absolutely beautiful. What I also loved is that nobody was wearing makeup, and they would go. I was in Ghana, and then we
Yes.
went to Ivory Coast in South Africa. But the people in Ghana were
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful. Their skin was freaking amazing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
muscle tone on the guys was amazing. You talk about a 6 pack or an 8 pack, and they had
Mm-hmm.
no gym nowhere around. Like it was
Yep.
really, it was an eye opener for me, to see how, people live differently, but differently, right? Like differently than us. Because I think if I would have lived
Absolutely.
in Shantytown, I probably would have looked like here, right? But not appreciating that they had family, that they had community, that they
Yep.
had what they needed. And even like traditional Africans don't take more than what they need. And that's not
Absolutely.
the way we are raised in America. You get
Right.
all you can get, and then,
Yes.
the next man, they got to get theirs. And
Yeah.
and the whole vibe is different, right?
Absolutely.
I
It's
would
an
literally
individualistic
so far
aspect,
from my
I think.
family,
Yeah. I
but
think
I
it's an
love the vibe,
individualistic piece,
huh?
here in America. I think it's individual, the
Yeah,
individualism,
yes,
the production, right? Most of the time we are taught to produce here. And so your value is basically centered around what you can produce.
yes.
Versus in Africa, your value is centered around your existence. And that's the difference. Like we're not valued by what we have, what we produce, what we, that's all an illusion of success. But the real success is just you being alive, just you
And that
taking your
came
breath
out of
every single
slavery.
morning.
I mean, that came, yeah, that I can definitely see that. But and
Absolutely.
then unfortunately, we kind of put that on our kids too, right? Like you got to
Yes.
see, why didn't you get an A? You need to do better. Yeah, you
Right.
got into an HBCU, but can you get into Harvard? Right? Like
Right.
we just we, unfortunately put so much on our kids, and it just from one generation to the next, and
Yeah.
it gets worse, and it's like the value, even in not that I'm dating because I'm not, but, like, when people are like, "Oh, if you can't buy me a bag," You can't buy me this Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was like, sis, a Louis Vuitton bag, you live in an apartment. Why would you want a bag that costs more than your rent? You need a house.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But just the value we put on relationships and people, and even how children look at their parents. Like if your parents can't keep up with your friends' parents, it's a lot. I'm overwhelmed by America.
Absolutely. That's why I had to get out as much as possible because I think that that's the
Yes.
balance, right? It's the
Yeah.
balance. So for me, I don't, my goal is not to be in America is very limited as possible, right? I have a grandson. So as a result of being a grandmother that's here, I got to be here, of course, for my grandson. But the reality of it is that, I have a space in Jamaica and I built that for my own space to be able to go to the water daily, eat from my trees and my yard. I mean, I was just there for a month in Jamaica and I never went to the grocery store. Never, not one day. I had no need to go to the grocery store. It
So what do
wasn't
you have
necessary.
on your farm?
Oh my gosh, it's everything. And it's not just me, right? Because of my neighbors. Because it's trees, so we can eat. It's callaloo, it's spinach, it's okra, it's avocados, it's pears, it's jackfruit, soursop, biscuits. Like it's an endless amount of food that you can eat. I even went to the waterfall one day and found a castor soap tree. I'm picking leaves that's making soap. I only had need no bars. It was listen,
Oh no,
everything
that's
that we need just was coming from the earth, and it was just no grocery store a whole month. I saved so much money. As soon as I came back here, I was like, oh, let me go the whole paycheck and get this food. But it's just, I think it's just a difference.
so
It's
I
just
want to visit you in Jamaica too.
you're most welcome. You're most welcome anytime. You're most welcome. I'm on the countryside now. I got to tell you, I'm a farmer,
Oh no,
so
I'm okay. I'm
you
okay.
okay with that?
You
Oh,
said you're near water, right?
I am. I am near the Roaring River, which is a river where archaeologists have not ever been able to find the bottom of this river. So it's a main source. It's a healing river. And yeah, and so this is where I go every single day, even if I do nothing but sit there to read. It's called the head of the river. The head is where it's coming straight from the earth, and I sit out there for hours. I sit in it. I bathe in it. It's my spot.
I
But
love it.
yes, every
And
day.
unfortunately, you can't bring anything back to eat from Jamaica or any other place.
So I bought some. I mean, no, you can't bring the food back unless it's packaged. But I definitely be bringing my herbs back. Like I keep a suitcase just there in the house. So when I come back, I just bring herbs because herbs are so expensive here, right? But
Yeah.
for me, they're in
Oh,
so much of an abundance. Soursop leaf, which has healing properties. Lemongrass. I just bring so many herbs back in suitcases. And when sisters come to class, I give it away. Like today, we're gonna save you some money. Today I'm gonna save you some money. It don't cost me nothing to go out there and pick them and dry them on my veranda and bring them back and give them away.
So,
So
Mayasa, talk about your workshop and how the workshop
oh,
is going to be set up.
okay, so I'm doing a workshop on womb wellness and healing because there are a lot of women walking around with fibroids, PCOS, PMS, herpes, just a lot of aspects of the womb that's not healed, vaginal dryness, menopause, or just need some self love in their womb space. And so what I do is I have like these organic herbs, and I'm going to teach you how to make your own little bath so that you can make your own little bath to heal your womb space, or your self-love potion, whatever you need a little bit more of. And so I'm going to talk you through what this particular herb does, what this one do, because I believe in bio individuality, right? Everybody's body is so different, so all of our needs are very different. So just to package up and just sell them straight out without knowing like whether you have allergies or are you allergic to grass because herbs is plant medicine too, and it doesn't show up at the same in everybody's body. So I'm going to walk you through that. We're going to get in touch with our divine femininity. I always support like feminine energy. I believe that America can make us real hard over here. Everybody cussing and slamming doors and we're not really tapping in as deep as we can into our really feminine side because we surviving. That survival mode. Turn off that femininity. How I'm going to survive and try to be feminine too? So the goal is to, to reclaim our divine femininity and know that that's our birthright. It's in us, and that we can still survive and do what we need to do from our feminine aspects of existence. And so I'm going to, walk us through that, what that looks like, prepare you, you to take home your own herb baths, say your own prayers over your baths, your own ashe, right? We don't need to go to other people to get some of these things. We can do it ourselves. So
When
my
is
thing is about teaching you how to do it. The 13th,
The 13th, yeah.
Friday, June 13th at 8 o'clock to 10 p.m., 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
you here
Uh,
Oh, because I sent it to you on Bonnie. That's what I sent to
today?
you this morning. Yeah, I sent that to you on Bonnie this morning.
I hope Bonnie could come. So I won't be able to come, but can you send me my own stuff through Marcy?
So Marcy will talk to you and she'll find out like what you feel like your womb needs, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
Versus just packaging you up something, right? Because your womb is different. She got a story. And I always talk to women about like naming your womb. When the last time you looked at your womb? Women will walk around not looking at their sacred womb space, and men are looking at their phalluses all day long. We're very
Not all day.
disconnected from our
Not
wombs,
all day.
like it is, right?
Not all day.
JB had to straighten his glasses
Yeah,
up on
he was
that
like,
one.
We.
Jamie said not all day.
I'm looking
Well,
at her
most of the
womb
day.
as much as I can.
They go to the back. but we have become really disconnected, just from ourselves, and we don't, a lot of times we don't know what our wound space looks like unless there's a problem, unless it's hurting, or discomfort. And the goal is to reclaim in that space of like it's sacred. You look at hysterectomies. When the men have, prostate, issues going on, the doctor gonna do everything in their power to preserve it. They're gonna be like, oh, let's try this, let's try this. They're gonna go through so many things for men to ensure that he is properly functioning. But for a woman, they're like, oh, we could just do a partial hysterectomy. We could just give you a full hysterectomy. It's just like where's that same consideration for the womb space? So because the medical industry sometimes doesn't have that, it's important that we have that, that we take that power back. So we want,
Yes. So it's gonna be it first. Are we gonna dance too? I know, never mind. I know we're gonna dance. So
we
we
got
gonna
to move a little bit.
yeah, I don't know why I asked that question. So we're definitely gonna get a little dancing in, and then the way Mayasa is gonna teach us exactly what does our wound need and the herbs that we have to throw in there. Because I know Renee Smith, I love me some Renee Smith. She for a wedding gift that I got my first bee sting, and it was with Mayasa, and I forgot how many years ago it was. And ladies, take the class because I'm biased. We do have another because Mayasa doesn't do it anymore, but we do have another young lady. If you want to do a V sting, and I will only go to our Kayla. She was on our show. She has been on the podcast before. Um,
I trained
but
Kayla.
I know, and that's the only reason I went to
I
it.
trained a lot of women in the DMV area that have beautiful, successful shops now. I'm like an old auntie. I'm like the auntie of women.
But
Yeah.
I would do yourself a favor. And like you said, we have when we get in contact, when we get in connection with our womb space, we become happier women because we can be happy from internally, and then that will be external happiness. So June 13th, I know it's Belly Dancing the Color Collective. Um,
Can you put it in the chat, Marcy?
sure.
Yep. And if anybody wants to go to Jamaica, I always say, even if I'm not there, or if you don't even stay with me, if you come, like I can take you around the island and show you the natural aspects of being in Jamaica versus the tourist side, right?
I would love.
So, that tourist side, you're gonna spend some money, right? When I go to Jamaica, we're gonna spend about $100 and we're gonna have an amazing time. We're gonna be out on the boats and just do a lot of other things, that
I
it
love
just doesn't cost that, because I see that bag coming. um but
And they
it's
do.
definitely a
They
different
be
aspect of
burning the
existence.
mess out.
Oh no, that's very exciting because I I still eat all the meats, but I know that I am being drawn to a different type of diet sooner or later. I just haven't broken up with them yet. It's like that. It's like that that relationship. It's bad for you, but you just it's so good to you. You can't stop it.
It's
But
all in divine timing,
and that is
it's
my
all in
relationship with
time.
meat. It is just I just love it. I just couldn't even imagine years ago a meal without meat. I would have never even fathomed. And so the fact that I know that I am actually being drawn towards that is big for me. So and also just not living in the US, right? Like I remember when I found out W.E. Du Bois had moved to Ghana, and there was somebody else who had moved to Ghana. And I was like, oh my, in my young 20s, I was like, I could never think of not living in the US. I love the US. And then Trump happened, and I'm like, I hate this place.
I'm
The house
telling
is
you.
awful here. But also just being educated on how big pharma has really poisoned us, how the FDA has not been our friend, allowing all kinds of garbage in our food and in our products, because not just in our food. Speaking of wound care, I found out a couple of years ago that the makers of tampons and Tampax were putting asbestos
Oh,
in tampons, making women bleed more. And the FDA approves that. Like, how does that happen? So,
Yeah.
My mother told me this, and this is really my thing. When I was a young woman, my mother said, "You can live with a man who doesn't love you, but don't ever live with somebody who don't respect you." And I know that America has never really loved us, right? But now
Right.
they're disrespectful, right? They just so
Absolutely.
disrespectful. I can't do it anymore.
Absolutely.
Oh, Marcy, that's a
Absolutely.
long one. Hopefully, people have a chance to screenshot it. If you cannot, because you're not going to be able to tag it, but if you screenshot it so that
You
you
know what? I'll go and put it on our page.
Or just put Belly Dancers of Color Collective. Or you could put my Instagram or something on there, Marcy. It's on there too. My Yasa womb therapist.
Okay.
and
Yep.
also if they just go to Eventbrite and put Feminine Fire Friday, it'll pop right up.
Yep. There we
So
go
yeah,
too.
I am
all
so
that
mad right
energy.
now. I'm not going to be here Friday.
It's all in divine order. We're gonna have one when you come back, when you return.
I would appreciate that. I
Yeah,
would
we
certainly
will.
appreciate that because, I done had this wound for over 50 years, and I'm going to.
I know. I know. Me too.
I
Yes,
God
spent
please, y'all,
absolutely.
in an
y'all talk about
absolute,
y'all wombs. Let me get my butt out of here.
Let me
it's been an
tell you, what you want to
absolute
do is
pleasure.
say, hey,
And,
we
and
gonna
you need
talk
to
about
make sure your wife is there. So because her healthy womb impacts you, right?
Good point.
Yes.
of
Right.
course.
I don't know her schedule, but I will definitely pass the word.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Our,
Absolutely.
our healthy wounds makes
Well, are
somebody's
you going to
son
be here in
happy.
July?
Me or
Uh-huh.
so certain points in July, I have a couple of dates kind of blocked out for travel. But yeah.
Because Irena and her friend Ivory do this amazing shopping event, right?
Hmm.
But they educate people too. Like there are lots of different tables where people are getting educated, getting juices, and Jamie's there with the mental health shirts. So you doing your herbs and educating people will probably be amazing. Just something to think about. I just,
Okay.
I want our people to be educated. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to get the information. So if it can work
Absolutely.
out, but if
Yeah, I
not, I'm gonna
definitely
get
look
mine.
at
Though. This
it.
is my American way of thinking. I'm gonna get mine. And I will be to see you in Jamaica for sure.
Oh my
Absolutely. Or
goodness.
on the belly dancing floor every other Friday too. Friday nights. Every other Friday night I'm out in Lanham. It's 8 o'clock at night on a Friday night. But people go to the party in the clubs on Friday
Marcy
night.
made me scared of you and Nazoo. I'm like, mm-mm,
Mercy, I slow it. Don't listen to my. I slow it down a
No,
mm-mm.
lot.
you
A
can
difference.
you can go in your own pace, but I've been with Mayasa for these many years.
And
She
you come back home with your knees hurting, your butt hurting. I'm like,
That's because
mm-mm.
Marcy be going hard. Listen, Marcy be putting a little extra razzle dazzle
Oh,
on
is that
her
what she
stuff. That's
do?
yes,
Okay.
yes. You know that Gemini energy. She's putting extra on it. It does not be like that. You have to come. It
Speaking of
sometimes it's very
Gemini
slow and very
energy,
intense.
it's your birthday month, Marcy.
Yes,
it is.
yes, it
Woo-hoo.
is.
Me and our number one fan, me and Jason. Our birthdays
Yay,
are coming up
Jason, happy
soon. Yes,
birthday.
yes, yes.
Yes,
And
yeah.
shout
But
out in heaven to my daughter because Marcy and Ayana share the same birthday. Some of my
Really?
favorite people were born on June 10th.
That's beautiful. My grandson's birthday was yesterday. He turned 7 years
Okay.
old.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Beautiful. Shout out to him. What's the baby
His
name?
name is James.
Hey, shout
Yes,
out.
King James.
Good man, good man. He should have been a Taurus, but we gonna let that slide.
That's
He's a
okay.
Taurus.
Look, he over on the Gemini side. We loving him for that.
See, I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him.
But yeah, so Friday the 13th, Mayasa will be doing a workshop, but every other Friday, we dance on the floor. And when I tell you, it's you go, this is Jamaican belly dance, because you know when you say belly dancing, you get a different no. This is Jamaican belly dance, and this is
This is
who
true.
you dance, girl, you're mine, girl. You do it.
This is true.
But I got to calm down because my knee is still messed up because I danced with Nazoo Saturday. I shouldn't have been dancing. So you know I gotta calm down. But this knee got to get ready for the 13th.
Yes, yes. I look forward to it. I'm so grateful, for y'all sharing time and holding space and exchanging energy with me. I really am grateful. I'm grateful for the work that y'all do.
Thank you.
Marcy, the one thing about Marcy is, Marcy, I call her like the connector, right? She's always connecting, and she
Love.
is like a supporter of all things good. And
Yeah.
she really, really talks about you all. And every class, like at the end of class, I ask, like, what's your superpower? And Marcy's is to be able to work in the space with y'all. And I love that that is like her testimony that she shares with us, so that, we know exactly what it is that, she around some really good people holding the line, doing this real work out here. So we're definitely grateful for y'all.
Yes,
We
thank you.
appreciate
And
you
Thank
thank
joining
you
us
too
today.
for you being here and holding space for us because this has been really good. And I also want to say I love sharing the space with Marcy and Jamie because I feel like I'm locked in. Both of them are
Mm-hmm.
and the thing I love about both of them is they do not mind sharing it. Like they do not consider it
Yes.
robbery to share
Yes.
their resource, their connections. And if more
Mm-hmm.
people can be like that, like it would just be an amazing world where it ain't gonna hurt you to help somebody else, right? Or to not even be in the line like Jamie and I've done a news thing together. He like talk to her, don't even look at me. I'm like, wow, I'm saying like people don't do that. People like, yeah, you in the background, I'm the star, but Jamie, nothing like that.
Yeah, that's nice. That humility. That's the beauty of the humility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday is my favorite day of the week. I love these guys and I love the response that we get. Like we have bought some really good shows. And I'm not saying it because I'm a part of the show. I'm saying what people have said to me. No, I'm saying what people have said because I feel like it's a good show, but I have gotten no, it's not a good show. It is an amazing show. It is an awesome show. And people are really getting help learning. And I love that for them.
That's
And
it.
it's
Absolutely.
unconventional. It's not your regular therapy, but you will learn about yourself, and with that, you will start that process of being a better me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love that. And I'm grateful that y'all have that space. I always encourage people like get a therapist, definitely get a therapist. That hasn't something that's been so popular with us, as melanin people, but we need some good, healthy therapists that look like us that are, in tune to what our, issues that we face daily are, and that can support us through that. And so I always say sometimes my clients come, I would be like, you're outside of my scope. you need a therapist. So I used to keep like a card deck of just different therapists. Like, let me refer you over. Even when I birth babies, there are times where I work, with a therapist to help to support a mother and father in their birth journey,
Mm,
because they need that through that,
yeah.
that space. Yeah, I support it
And a
100,000%.
therapist too, I think what's important for us is that not somebody who's just gonna go with the DSM-5 TR and
Mhm.
start recommending pills. Like, it's the sun is healing, herbs are healing, changing
Yes,
your diet is healing, dancing is healing, smoking a little marijuana can be healing, depending on what your issue is. Like, there's so many things that the earth gives us that are just natural, that will heal us without big pharma's medication.
absolutely. I always say the closer we get to nature, the further away from nature we are, the further our healing is. The more we just get
Mm,
back to the nature. Because, I mean, I think about when I'm in Jamaica, there is no doctors for the snakes. There is no doctors for the animals there. In here in the US, you see clinics, veterinarians for your dogs and your cats. Why
mm,
aren't there any veterinarians for the animals in these other Yet they can heal themselves. Yet they can sustain themselves. So
because
the
they not
body,
eating dog food. They eating regular stuff, right?
the
Like they
body can heal
eat
itself.
what
It's
they
very
supposed to be
capable.
eating.
It can be very capable of. We
Yeah.
are self-healing organs, and they can heal themselves if we have enough time and enough capacity to do that. It's definitely capable of it.
Girl, I'm going to get on Southwest and see how I can get to Jamaica. So where should I fly into? Mobe?
Definitely Mobay.
Okay, how far are you from there?
About 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really like in the country.
I'm okay with it. Well, that's great. The
Yeah,
only thing is,
We're gonna figure it out.
if it's
Figure it out.
2025 and I haven't started my no meat, I'm gonna have to get me some oxtails. You all right with that?
that's fine. I don't know where you're
Okay,
gonna get them from
I
on
was
my
gonna say
side.
you're not gonna get them on her side.
I'm gonna have to get them before I get there. Then I'm gonna have to get
You
them when I get the
definitely gonna
boat
have to
back.
get them before you get there. She lives on a farm.
Yeah,
And the
I'm
Ain't
only
no
way in
oxen on the farm. Ain't no cat. No, I'm just kidding.
we
Okay,
ain't that's
I'll get them
slavery.
right out the airport. I'm gonna have to get it. Now I can't be. Yeah,
Mhm.
I ain't there
Yeah.
yet. Pray for me.
Yeah.
Pray for me.
But you know what? No, by the time we get there, you'll be there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
Even
girl,
if
I'm
it,
trying to go in 2025. I'm not
By
giving
the
up
time
meat
we get there,
yet.
you gonna be there.
I gotta go through a whole process. This a
yeah.
breakup, Marcy. This a breakup.
Well, you know what?
Especially when it's a love relationship,
And
right?
it is a love relationship. Like, literally,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love meat.
Yeah, if it's
And
a love relationship, and you might not need to give it up, right? Not unless it's doing something adverse to your body. Remember, we talk about bio individuality. What works for somebody else might not work for you.
no,
It's
but
really,
I want to get to, yeah, we'll talk about it
yeah,
when we laying at the river.
okay.
Because you know what? Maybe spending the week with you and not having no meat will be like the thing that I need, like where I cannot get it. I went to Egypt for 10 days, and of course, there is no pork in Egypt.
Right.
Baby, when I got at the airport, I called my grandmother because we flew out of New York. I said,
Hmm.
Grandma, can you please fry me a pork chop? I just need something. She was like, girl, I done bought fish. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to eat
Hmm.
pork. And it just, it really is a love relate. I'm working on it. Y'all pray for me. And I'm being
Yeah.
honest. I'm being vulnerable here. But it's
Hmm.
the ooh.
Yeah, I feel like that in certain parts of Africa though. Like when I was in Egypt eating was good for me. But when I went to Senegal, I think I was there for like 14 days. I had survived of like cashews. Everything was meat based, and I was dying. It wasn't until I went to um one of the imam's house and I was able to I was like greens. It was amazing, but it was very, very challenging for me to eat when I
Yeah.
was in the Gambia, when I was in Senegal. But when I go to Tanzania, that's why I love it so much. It replicates, the Caribbean. Trees, pineapples, coke.
So no
It
meat.
replicates it.
Oh, now let me just say, I never forgot this. I was in my 20s when I went to Africa, but the pineapples there, baby,
Candy.
you don't even want a pineapple when you come back
Yeah.
to the US. When I
Yes.
say the pineapples there are some kind of different but
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, like a piece of
Woo!
candy.
No, I
Yeah.
probably could live on fruit alone if that was my fruit, right? Like I
Mhm.
probably could.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh,
I
y'all
love
pray
it.
for me. Okay, we're not gonna keep our audience with my drama, my therapy session. Okay, so listen, thank you, Mayasa, for
Thank you,
joining
sis.
us.
Thank
Marcy,
you.
I'm gonna put Mayasa in the green room, and if you could give us your Marcy moment, and we'll say goodbye to the good people.
Ooh, just all this good juiciness. Your Marcy moment is remember to treat yourself well. Go on a little holistic walk. Ladies, understand when your womb is happy, you are happy. And come on, just come walk with me in this happiness. Ashe.
Your man is happy. Don't
What'd you
forget
say?
him. And your man is happy, so don't
And
forget him.
look, I ain't have one of
Right
those,
now,
so
coming
I
upstairs.
gotta be happy for me.
I'm about to go upstairs, y'all. See what this boom.
All right.
All right, come on down to the green room. Hold on for a moment.
All right. Thank you all. All right, here we go.
Y'all got it right today.
Because Ty's doing it.
She's Tyreese,
But I got it
McAllister,
now.
the
There we
therapist
go.
on the mic, bringing mental health wisdom, shining bright like a light. Guiding souls to peace, leading minds to the right. With her codes by her side, they soar to new heights. Marcy Trueheart in the mix, mental health advocate, speaking truth, sparking change, grinding like a maverick. Empowering minds, lifting spirits, it's never too late. Together with the crew, just trying to do great. Jamie Tyler in the house, a TV star, champion mental health, taking it far, sharing stories, inspiring minds, raising the bar, with codes by the side, reaching for the stars. Thursday therapy, breaking stigmas all around. With this crew, they here for the town. Mental health help, spreading love profound. Their voices echo loud with a resounding sound. Thursday therapy, here to make a change, spreading love, sharing knowledge in a world so strange. Tyreese, Marcy, Jamie on this mental health range, standing united this far from a game.